Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sumedha Shekhar of BBA 5th SEM, and today I am going to give a presentation on the topic merchant banking. So, what is merchant banking? Merchant banking refers to financial services that is provided by financial institutions to corporate, government, and high net worth individuals. These services range from just common advisory services, consultancy services, to being an underwriter and also debenture trustee. I'll explain what debenture trustee in just a moment. First, let's talk about its origin. It began in Europe in 17th century. In India, as you can see in the slide, Grindlays Bank was the first first merchant bank in India that started its services in 1967. In 1972, the State Bank of India set up its merchant banking division as well. So let's talk about the characteristics of merchant banks. Now, merchant banks are regulated not by RBI like other banks because they do not provide traditional banking services. Rather, they are regulated by SEBI and works under their guidelines. Their code of conduct is also devised or issued by the SEBI. They need to register under different category and they provide services based on the category that they register in. So there are 4 categories: category 1, 2, 3 and 4. Those merchant banks that register under category 1 provide maximum number of financial services to the corporates or government or any high net worth individual. Those who register in category 4 provide only 2 services, that is advisory and consultancy. These are the characteristics of merchant banking. High proportion of decision makers as a percentage of total staff. What it means is that merchant banks usually employ highly professional or skilled decision professionals in their inside the merchant bank as not a number of supporting staff. Why this helps in making quick and efficient decision because they deal in very critical financial information. Second, quick decision process. Because they have highly professional individual and staff, their decision process is very quick and they need to be adaptable to the needs and preferences of the corporate houses and provide decision as per their time and they cannot delay such crucial decisions such as merger and acquisition that they deal in. Third is high density of information. High density of information means that the information that they deal in, those financial transactions, are very crucial, critical and requires a thorough analysis. Intense contact with the environment. Merchant banks are in contact with all the financial participants or all the participants of the financial environment such as regulators, suppliers, etc. so that they can be updated with all the dynamics of the market. Loose organizational structure. Now, merchant bank, the organizational structure of merchant bank is not as rigid as traditional bank and they adapt to the needs and preferences of the market as well as of the corporate houses. Concentration of short and medium term engagement. Merchant banks focus their or mainly aims at short or medium term projects of the corporate houses. Fifth is emphasis on fee and commission income. Their main revenue is from the fee that they generate through the services that they provide to the corporate. Last is innovative instead of repetitive operations. So they provide customized solution or customized strategies related to different banks, to different houses that they provide services to, rather than a standard that is same for all. So they provide a very innovative solution to different clients. Now these are some key guidelines by the SEBI. As they are regulated by SEBI, these are some guidelines that they must adhere to. First is professional qualification. Second, infrastructure requirement that they must fulfill. They must have proper setup of office equipments and manpower that is required. Capital adequacy. Now, for anyone to register as merchant bank, for any organization to register as merchant bank, their net worth is minimum requirement of the net worth is rupees 5 crore. Track record. They must have a previous proven experience, good reputation in the market to be registered as merchant bank. Now, some of the functions of merchant banking: capital raising and underwriting. Let's take example. Suppose a startup is going to go public. So merchant bank provides services that they need in their initial public offering. And also they also act as an underwriter for these those who are going public, and also as a debenture trustee. Any organization or that is going public or going to issue their capital, and if they are issuing debenture with maturity period of more than 18 months, they need to have or required to have a debenture trustee. So these merchant banks provide this act as a debenture trustee to these organizations. Second is corporate advisory services. As I mentioned earlier, they provide advisory services to different firms and high net worth individuals. Merger and acquisition. Another example we can take is when Flipkart, in the acquisition of Flipkart by Walmart, merchant bank supported the negotiation deal between the two parties. Fourth is wealth management. They analyze the environment, the market dynamics, and aim at reducing the risk and maximizing the wealth of their clients, which is the corporate or different organization. Fifth is debt restructuring. They help the organization in restructuring their debt so that they can improve their repayment history or repayment cycle, so that the firm can have, both the merchant banking firm as well as the corporate house can have a good reputation in the market. So in conclusion, I can say that merchant banking does not only provide financial services but also crucial for the growth of global business. And these are the future prospects. With the advancement of fintech, merchant banking is the services that are provided by merchant banking are indispensable in the global businesses. Thank you very much.